Hi everyone, it's Chelle from Chelle Crochet. It's time for our mid-April update. It's Chelle. How are you today? So mid-April and it's time for a little update. I have some yarn to show you and I'm going to go through and let you know how I've been doing on my goals after the first quarter of 2021 has passed by. So we had January, February, March already, which means quarter one is done and gone, and I just thought it would be a good time to check in with how I'm doing on my goals. So first of all, I need to do a shout out and a big thank you to my friend Crystal at Ricola's Crochet Corner for spoiling me again with some yarn. And I am going to show it to you first in picture format. That is a project that is now completed and it is making an appearance on the screen somewhere, but I'm not going to show it to you until the end of the month. And what you're seeing in the picture is just the whip basket I had going to organize my thoughts. It was a little crazy, but a couple of the yarns that Crystal gifted me are actually from Hobby Lobby. It's made with the yarn bead pigment and fiber, and it's made with fingering weight yarn. Now I held it double, but it still helps in getting used to the process of using such a thinner yarn. So I will tell you more about that at the end of the month, but thank you, Crystal, for that yarn. And one other thing came from Hobby Lobby. I have another Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel Cotton in this lovely rainbow color. And the only other time I've worked with this yarn, it's right here. It's a Just Feel Festive Shawl. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to making this. This took two, so it gives me some idea of what size of project I could make with this. But I think a tiny human would do really well with this rainbow yarn. So we'll have to figure that out. I have somebody in mind that I can ask if they might be interested in that becoming something. And she also gave me another cotton ripple cake. So this one is very interesting. That screams spring bag to me. So spring summer bag, some kind of a market bag, but it's beautiful. Let me just see if I can tell you the name. So the Karen cotton ripple cakes, which are 100% cotton, 491 yards, 49 meters, 8.5 ounces, 200 grams, 3 weight. And this colorway is called Wildflowers. Oh yeah. So that's gorgeous and so cheery, right? And then there were 2 of these. So I had her note, and I don't know what I do with it, but basically her note said that she wanted me to be able to try some of these newer yarns because she knows that I'm now on another hiatus. And I was joking with her when I thanked her and I said, but my hiatus just started. Anyway, so this one's very interesting, and I have 2 of these Eco Calm Stripes yarn. So this is a loops and threads. Oh my god, I hate going back and forth with my glasses. And so what does it say? Let's just put them on, read the stuff, and take them off. So this is regular $11.99 in Canada, and it is made in China. It is color Crushed Berries, medium 4-weight yarn, hand washed, lay flat to dry, and this is recommending a 5.5 millimeter hook. So 60% recycled polyester, and then 15% polyester, 15% acrylic, and 15% wool. And isn't that gorgeous? So I got 2 of those. So that's definitely tons to make a shawl. So we'll see how that one goes. And then the last one, there's actually 4 of these, another loops and threads in this new line. It also goes for $11.99 in Canada. This is Eco Waves Multi. Color is black and white. And this is also made in China. 496 yards, 7 ounces, 453 meters, 200 grams, and 4-weight yarn, 5.5 millimeter hook, 57% recycled polyester, 29% cotton, 9% acrylic, and 5% polyester. Very interesting. This is also hand wash, lay flat to dry. And just because it looks so like thick, like it could almost be like a bulky yarn in the cake or in the ball, but it's not. And it's kind of like shawl in the ball. It's a little loosely spun, and it goes to that thinner time of yarn at the bottom. So that'll be very interesting. And I'm gonna make my mom something with this. When I have yarns that say hand wash and lay flat, I like to strategically decide who they're gonna go to. And I asked her in advance if she'd be okay with that kind of upkeep, and she said sure. So it will be something for my mom, and I guess I won't say what it is because she'll probably watch this. I have quite a few projects on the books for my mom for this year, for Mother's Day, for her birthday, for Christmas, and bonus. So thanks Crystal for helping my mom get a bonus gift. Anyway, that was an awesome surprise that I got last week in the mail. So super excited to start working with some of those things. And in fact, I have, if you've spotted my mystery project anywhere in the room. Oh, and I should say, I am in a different location today just because I felt like it. I've started to dig out some yarn for some bigger projects. I have a blanket that has been ordered for June, and I'm just starting to figure out what yarns to use for that and get the okay on that color palette. And then I also have a sweater to make as a 50th birthday present for July. So I have to get that yarn sorted out as well. So I just decided to stay where I crochet most of the time, which is in my living room today. And for the rest of the video today, I'm just going to talk to you about how I've been doing with my 2021 goals, because we are now 1/4 of the way through the year, which I have a hard time believing, but it is April. So here goes. I wrote some things down to keep myself honest, and I guess this will go along with one of them because I am making use of my journal that I created. So number 1 was to use the yarn I have first. So I did do that in the first quarter relatively well. But I also had a lot of acquisitions for me. I tend not to buy a ton of yarn, but I did buy quite a bit of yarn in the first quarter for me. A lot of it was for specific projects that I have in mind, or like to top up projects. I got some yarn for my Christmas blanket to make sure I had the quantity where I wanted it to be to make it a little bit bigger. And anyway, I just have to keep that goal more present in mind. But in terms of the things I've made, most of it came from stash yarn. So I'll put a little montage of pictures at the end because I'm not going to be showing much crochet today, of the projects that I have made with existing Yarnscape yarn that I had already since January, so you can have a look. Number 4 was about my Make 9. So giving myself to adjust my Make 9 quarterly if I wanted to. I'm not going to make any adjustments. I'm going to keep it the way it is. I probably will add a different shawl. I can't see the whole year going by without me doing a few shawls. I haven't done any yet, which is strange for me, as most people will realize. But the one shawl that I had on there, I just didn't feel it as a shawl pattern and I didn't have any use to continue it to use it as a gift or anything. So I just made it into that head bandana like you saw already last time. And yeah, so we'll go from there. But otherwise, I've gotten 4 of my 9 projects completed in the first 3 months. So that feels good. Now, granted, there are 2 blankets on there, and there's also a hoodie on there. So there's some rather large makes, but I still feel good about it. Number 3 was just about using my journal. Number 4, I have 4 and 5 are about making blankets. And so basically my overall goal is to make 12 blankets this year, but 6 of them should be blanket patterns that I haven't tried yet, so I get to try new things. And then 6 of them can just be whatever I want them to be, so that I get to feel like I have those projects that are just mindless and that you can work on whenever. So for those, my I have two completed that are new to me. So I did the Daphne blanket as a baby blanket, pop up a picture here. And I also did my sister's birthday blanket, which I'll also pop up a picture here. And those are both completed. So there are two completed of 6 there, but I have 2 whips, my Mighty Mila Minute blanket and my Modern Rectangular Granny are both whips, and they're both new to me projects as well as blankets. So 4 of 6 in the first quarter is pretty good, as long as like when I come out and do this check in the middle of the year, that well, one of them's a whole year project, so that'll carry over, but I need to keep kind of the pace I'm at because one of them's a whip and it needs to get done. So for the other blanket projects that are not new to me, I have my Diamond Granny Square blanket on the go, and I will do a full update on that at the end of the month. And I also have completed this blanket here, which was just a repeat of half double crochet and half and double crochet, so I'm not counting that as new to me. I've done that before. So yeah, so in total I have finished 4 blankets in the first 3 months of the year, and I have 3 blankets that are whips, so that's pretty good, right? So number 6 was to either make something from a pattern or write one of my patterns out. And I do a lot of wing it projects and I don't write them down. Like, they're in here in note form, but they're not in the form where I can duplicate it very easy for others. I do give you guys quite a bit of notes in the description box when I do these types of wing it projects. But this is number 6, and this is one that I really want to focus a little bit more on so that I know what I really want this goal to mean, because right now I don't know if I do. So we'll see. Number 7 was to do at least 4 cals throughout the year, crochet alongs, and I am currently in a annual crochet along, so it's going to take the entire year with both Seta and Jada, but it's a joint one, so I meshed those 2 things together. So Seta from Seta Place is doing the 2021 calendar cal as cowls this year. It can be hard to say that. And instead of doing the cowls, I decided to use the colors from the calendars and make my Mighty Mile a Minute strips for the Jada and Stitches calendar blanket for 2021 with those colors. So because it's kind of a bit of a cheat, it's also creative to get to at the same time, which I really like that idea. But I'm counting it as 1. So I'm counting those 2 as 1 cal. And the other one I have done so far was I participated in Rel's Octoparty cal. So we just finished that last month, and that was fun because it made me do an amigurumi, actually made me do 2. And yeah, so that was fun. I still have 9 months of the year to get myself involved in 2 more, and I'm sure that'll be easy to do. So number 8 was to learn 12 new stitches this year. I both need to keep better track of if I have, and I also need to focus a little bit more on this because I really want to broaden my horizons in this area. Now there is a baby blanket on my Make 9 that is a stitch sampler blanket, so that will help. But quickly going back through my notes in my journal, I didn't really find it easy to tell other than my sister's blanket that I made, doing the double crochets in between stitches instead of in the stitches. I figured that out on my own. I didn't actually find anything useful on YouTube when I went to check. And it is new to me, and it is something that I will use over and over again. In fact, I may have already done that, but I'll talk to you about that at the end of the month. And it is a very useful stitch because if you up your hook size and you want like lots of drape, you're gonna get almost a mesh version of a stitch by going in between those stitches. So anyway, that's good and needs work. Number 9 was about using crochet resources. And this one is an epic fail for quarter 1. I'm gonna give myself the big F on this one because I have not been gravitating towards using my materials, and I really want to spend more time with that book I've got. I'll pop up a picture here, but it's the complete crochet course, and there's so much information in there, but I'm a very audio visual learner. So if I can listen to something or watch it, I will learn it much more easily than if I have to read it. And I think that's part of the problem with the book, but I also just gonna have to force myself because I got that for a reason and I just want to make use of it more. So number 10 was about organizing the yarn room, and that's part of the reason I'm out here today as well, because I am reorganizing a few things more on the level of project planning, but I have done a little bit of reorganizing in the yarn room already. My cakes are in a much better spot than they were before because they actually all fit together, and I was able to move some other yarn out. So keeping the yarn room organized is not going to be a challenge for me, so I'm happy that it's on my list because it just keeps me honest. Number 11 was to be doing 2 podcasts a month, and that has actually been working out okay. I do find it difficult to get to the video making time some of the time, but I'm kind of happy with this flow, and I guess we'll see how it goes. And lastly, my 12th goal was to continue using YouTube as a resource for learning. I still feel very overwhelmed by the enormity of all of the crochet community in terms of everyone who's podcasting and all the amazing content that there is out there. And I feel that I'm not getting to the nitty-gritty of the tutorial side of YouTube that I started out really loving, to broaden my horizons. So I still have to work on that and figure out what my balance is going to be there. But you know what? There's just not enough time. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll continue to push it, and maybe I can try to really narrow in some projects that I want to get better at, and maybe figure out how I'm going to be able to use YouTube as a resource for that. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, though, that was a bit of a check-in for how my 2021 goals are shaping up so far this year. So far in the month of April, I have made almost zero progress on my modern granny, so that's really got to come back. I have started to extend my poncho capelet that I made last year. So it was made in the round and it sits about here, but I'm extending it in panels so that my arms can come at the sides and I can have a bit of a longer one and see how that will work out. I've made 2 scarves. I've made another one of those head kerchiefs, and I think that's about it. So not a ton going on so far this month, but I do have some things I need to get going before the end of the month. So hopefully that'll keep me honest. And yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys are all having a great day. Spring is here. We've had some nice weather already, although today is rather gloomy. But yeah, spring is here, and I can see some leaves starting to poke their heads out over there, and hopefully we have some better times coming forward as the weather continues to get better. Anyway, you guys, have a great day. Happy crochet. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, just a little clip for you to see what I see when I'm videoing normally. So this is a shelf kind of above my TV, and this is a shelf below my TV, and then I have my bigger cubes over here. So I can stare at yarn while I'm talking to you, and it gives me all these ideas. Anyway, bye for now.